show. It is a podcast, audio, and video. We're trying to separate those, and so you can download that little audio and take it with you. Yes, our audio is a little weird today. It must be Mercury in retrograde. I don't know if you're experiencing any of that on your phone or your other devices, but that is what's going on. So just roll with it. Just take a deep breath, be mindful. Know that these are things that shall pass, right? I do have my moment of blues prevention. We'll get to that here shortly. Welcome to Blues to Do TV. My name is Marlee Walker, a weekly live streaming podcast. We got free coffee and treats, but today, no need, because Mitch is here, and he brought the treats. We're going to do a jam session this afternoon at 2 o'clock, and we're going to serve Mitch's sauce, our sponsor, with some chicken and some shrimp and some, we're going to have some, what's the other stuff called?
A little bit of buffalo hummus.
Oh, the hummus. You put buffalo sauce in the hummus.
Yeah.
Look out.
Oh, my.
So we're going to try some new things this afternoon here at the Drum School. Watch anytime at youtube.com/C and then Seattle Drum School, or just go to YouTube and search for Seattle Drum School or Blues to Do, and you'll find our podcasts, a bunch of them. Our live guest today is Mitch Pumpian, chef and harmonica player. He's been in a lot of different groups here Northwest Wise, so we'll get his story and find out more about the sauce, the story of the sauce for sure. And he's also our sponsor for the Blues to Do podcast. Don't hesitate. If you'd like to be a sponsor for our podcast, we have a couple of openings for the summer, and we'd love to get your sponsorship in there. We got a QR code on Mitch's sponsorship thing, too. So when that comes up, just scan it, mitchesfoods.com, and you can order directly from this guy right here, the chef, the sauce boss. We are broadcasting. Where did I just go? Click, click. That must be that Mercury in retrograde.
We're at the Drum School on Bailey Street.
We are. Thank you, Bunny. Bunny Brown here with us. She's going to do a review, so stay tuned for that. And also give us our reason of the week for the blues, because sometimes I need help with these things. I'm going to skip the bathroom review this week because the one I went to just wasn't worthy. I'm not going to say who, because they don't get free press for having a bad bathroom. That's the first one.
Did
so I'm going to skip
stars.
No negative, no stars at all. You just don't get any free press. We are broadcasting on Duwamish land in Seattle's Georgetown area from the lab, the little auditorium in the back at 1010 South Bailey at the Seattle Drum School of Music. You can come join us. We love having a live audience, and we recognize and thank the Duwamish tribe for taking care of this land for centuries, for generations. Let's give them a rent party.
Yes.
I think that's the best idea I've had in a long time, and I'm an idea girl. So anyway, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. I don't know, my Venmo account's a little screwed up right now, so, it's just that Mercury in retrograde. We'll get there. Our new website design is here, so check it out. It's not quite done. It's a work in progress, but check it out, bluestodo.org. The org is new, so not .com anymore, .org. And again, if you want to sponsor this show, our website is also part of the sponsorship. So reach out. I'll let you know the whole thing. And we'll soon give you access to the archives of the Blues to Do Monthly, the Blues to Do TV show, the old radio shows I did on KPLU and KCMU and KMTT. Oh, my goodness, I have been doing this for a long time, so we'll put some of those archives
We're
up.
not going to see how long we've been in it.
No,
now.
interviews, podcasts, music reviews, venue, bathroom reviews, all that's going to be on the website. So, and our calendar. So the Blues to Do calendar, the most important part really, tells you where to go to have some more music, and the healing does take place. I had so much fun this week with Bonnie McCoy. We did the Royal Room Thursday with all the women tributes there, and Vermilion on Friday, and Vine Brewery in Belfair on 420. That was a blast. Anthony Estrada hosts there every Saturday, so we took over, and Bonnie was awesome. I have a new earworm. Whew. Tin Pan Alley Blues. She nailed it every day, and it's just going around and around in my head. You know that feeling? All right, let's do that blues prevention. I think I sent an image to you. What do you think? Do you got it, Christian? Christian Sadler is our engineer. And look, there's my how to get out of your own way. You could see that it's kind of beat up. I've had this one quite a while, and I even got it done in calligraphy by my buddy Ralphie, the late great Ralphie on Capitol Hill. He was a calligrapher for everybody on Capitol Hill for years.
Him, yeah.
Anybody needed a calligraphy sign, they went to Ralphie. It was way before the internet. But he passed anyway. So don't blame others. That's a good piece of advice. Stay focused.
Yes.
Be informed. Always wise. I miss that sometimes, but yes, surround yourself with positive people. Oh, that's a good one.
True that.
And you know this one, Mitch. Expect success.
course.
And we all learn from others. If we don't, then we're pretty much dead, walking dead. No black and white thinking. I think that's important to realize that there's some gray in the world.
Yeah,
It's not
there's
all
the
this or
middle.
that. There's a spectrum, there's sort of that
Yes.
pronoun
Yes.
thing. He, she, everything in between. I mean, you might as well
Exactly.
just put the spectrum out there. No black and white, just not binary. So don't take things personally. Boy, that's a good one. Whew. I have to remind
That's a
myself
hard
of
one,
that
too.
one. Yeah, right. And then a couple more. Don't disregard the positive. Oh, okay. See,
Okay.
emphasize positive, you get more of it.
Yes.
If you do the opposite, you get more of that. Okay. And don't be stopped by failure. That would be my mantra at this moment.
Yes.
Because I'm getting back on the horse, and I was not. I was.
Well, we both
off.
cried in our beer for months, for a minute, like, what we, but that was it. We sat down and talked and like, you know what? Let's do it again.
Stay positive.
Yes, stay
There's one more
positive.
thing to help you with
Oh,
the
good.
blues.
Go ahead.
Always carry a harmonica in your pocket.
See, the music is the healer. So that is a list how to get out of your own way. The image is a little fuzzy, a little gray, but it's worth checking out. My moment of wisdom is blues prevention. I'll try and help with your relationships and other stuff, try and make you a little more mindful. We all could use some of that. So, Bunny, it is your turn. Give me, what do you got? You got your reason of the week for the blues, and then we'll
my
get your
reason,
review.
My reason for the week for the blues
What you got?
is not pertaining to music. It's the WNBA.
Okay, talk to me.
And the women.
Everybody's talking about the women.
Oh man,
And the draft and
it blew up, because they say the men made so much more money because nobody went to see the women. Not true anymore. Not true anymore. However, Caitlin Clark, she broke every record of men and women.
Right.
Now, she's only making. Well, she went to Indiana, only making $98,000 a year, which they say is good enough for a freshman to live on. However, the worst player drafted for the men starts off at like 3.5 mil. You understand?
Okay.
And that gives me the blues. I'm like, come on now.
Inequity just straight in
Arizona
your
went
face.
back to 1800 on
Right.
on a law, when
It's only 3.4 million difference.
yeah. See, that would come from a guy. But yeah, that kind of gave a lot of women the blues,
Well, not just women,
Rightfully.
the men that support the women.
support
and
the women,
the
yes.
fact that, women are going to make the difference this year when we vote.
Exactly.
It's like this is the tide,
This is-
and it's starting to just go,
Yes.
and it's just going to take over, and you don't even realize this kind of thing fuels. I mean, all the women are going, what?
Yes.
What?
Yes.
And
Yes.
Okay,
Even
those
the
two.
ones who don't understand it, they see the difference in the rate, the sex.
Right, just total, like in your face inequity, huh?
Yeah, that kind of gives women the blues.
All right, reason
But
of the week for the blues. So speak up, people. That means
Yes.
call the WNBA, or who
Yes.
else do they call? What would they
Yes.
do? What
Well-
was the to do in this part?
Well, I think the players that showed up so well. You have Angela Reese. She went to Chicago. Caitlin Clark. She went to Indiana. But they are going to change the whole focus because now everybody is focused on these on these teams now.
Right.
Coming from college, you're already coming in making these teams
Right.
popular.
Right.
So the young girls, now these are the young girls wearing the shirts, the jerseys of these players. It's starting a whole, like you say, a whole new wave, sweetie.
All right, so get
and
jerseys
it's going to be
for your-
awesome. Yeah, so
Get female basketball player jerseys for your nieces and
Yes.
your nephews, for that
Yes,
matter.
yes,
Let them
yes,
all be
yes,
real
yes.
proud to wear
Yeah, and little
Caitlin's.
girls are wanting to play
There you
basketball
go.
now.
All
They
right.
don't. They want a basketball for
Let's do.
Christmas.
Let's
do it.
All right, Bunny, I love that. Thank you for bringing our reason of the
No
week for the
worries,
blues to
no
the
worries.
surface. And what do you got for a review? October London? Tell me.
I'm Bunny Bubbling Brown Sugar. I am the voice of the American Blues Network, and I went to the show here at the Showbox in Seattle with October London, and this guy is just fascinating. So I wanted to reach out and find out. He has a song called Mulholland Drive, and I'm like, oh, he's writing about his neighborhood in London, right? Young boy is from down the street, sweetie.
Mulholland Drive.
In South Bend, Indiana.
Yeah.
He was born here. And his mom was a musician, his dad, his uncles. It reminded me of Ron and his brother, the Herman Brown and the whole family.
Right,
They all
Septimus.
came from
Right,
music.
I see.
He started playing piano in kindergarten, you know. But the boy he does a fantastic show, and he was struggling under Sam London, and Snoop Dogg went and saw him perform and snatched him, you know, and brought him to Death Row Records. So, I mean, the show is just so classy. You're expecting something like Snoop Dogg, you know, character.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, something like. But this guy is like a Marvin Gaye. And that's the name of the album, The Rebirth of Marvin Gaye. It went #1 on the R&B charts, and it's crossed over to the pop charts. You know, and this is his first album.
Wow.
So
Pretty smooth sound.
yes,
I mean, is that what you describe it?
Yes, he came to the showbox, but I'm hoping he'll come back. A lot of people he was unknown to, even though it was a full house.
Yeah, it was buzz.
You
It
know,
was the
but now
buzz
they're
then.
like, who is this dude, October London? I'm like, hey, I tried to tell you.
So you say he's from here, not Seattle, but States, United States.
He's from South Bend, Indiana.
South Bend, Indiana.
Uh-huh.
All right, we'll keep an eye out for October
yes.
London.
He's a young guy, and he's on tour now. I know he just left Houston. I keep up with my home state. You know, he left Houston, and I think he's working his way back to Cali.
Okay.
But if you missed it, next time be sure you check this young man out. He's phenomenal.
All right, well, we just got into the show. We're going to finally get a chance to talk to Mitch. Sorry about that, Mitch, but that's cool. I really appreciate you contributing, Bunny. I want you to do that every week.
Oh, yes.
Because I know you bring it. The American Blues Network. Check her out, the voice of the American Blues Network,
Yes.
Bunny Bubblin' Brown Sugar, a regular part of our show here, the Blues to Do podcast. Okay, Mitch. Your story includes coming from Baltimore, although there's not really a musical connection there, as you told me.
Right.
And your family encouraged you to cook. Is that right? You're more of a
Actually, no, they didn't encourage me to do any of it.
They didn't say, "Hey,
I kind
that
of struck out
tastes
on my
good."
own.
So tell me that story. How did you start cooking? And I mean, your family loves your food. I know that.
I started cooking when I quit college halfway through my junior year and got a job as a dishwasher. And the fellas above me made more money, so every opportunity to move up, I did. And next thing you know, I was cooking. And I had an opportunity to work with some really great chefs along the way. Probably the most famous one I worked with was Wolfgang Puck in Los Angeles. I was a pastry chef for his restaurant for 3 years.
And you cook some bread. I've had some of your bread.
Yeah, I love to bake. That's probably my favorite part of cooking.
Is it? But you came up with this sauce. Tell me the story of Mitch's best buffalo sauce, and then we'll get to the harmonica part, because I know it's 2 parts here.
Yeah, well, the sauce, I was the corporate chef of a group of restaurants back in the late 80s into the early 90s. And they were based out of Chicago. I was based in L.A. But the VP called me up one day and said, "Hey, Mitch, I want to start serving buffalo wings." The restaurant was called Ed DeBevick's. It was a big diner concept, seated like over 400 people inside. It was big.
Wow.
So I said, okay, but I never had any buffalo wings I liked.
Oh.
They were all kind of nasty to me.
Too hot?
Hot and slimy and acrid, even though that was the original
Acrid,
approach.
meaning kind of
The
acidic.
flavor, very acidic,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
And so I said, I'm going to do it differently. So I took the authentic flavors and cooked it into a sauce, like a French gourmet sauce, and gave it some viscosity, and people went nuts over it.
You use
They
big
loved
words.
it.
You know you're cooking if you use viscosity.
I made
you
it
have
thicker.
Any Creole? Do you have any Creole in you?
No, I don't.
No. Okay.
At least
When you say take the flavors and blend them together, and you say, okay.
that's
Right?
that's cooking.
That's all American
Yeah.
stuff there. Well, in buffalo sauce, it has influence of Cajun. It has
Cajun.
red
Cayenne, aged cayenne peppers.
Yes.
are the
Aged
base-
cayenne,
Yeah, they're the
okay.
basis of the flavor. But yeah, so it sold well. I eventually left that restaurant. They sold and stopped selling them. But I kept making the sauce at home over the years, and many friends kept going, "Oh man, you got to bottle this and sell it." And I'm like, "Yeah, I got time for that." So finally, about 6-7 years ago, I actually had time to start working on it, and now I make it. I actually cook it about 2 blocks from here.
Really?
Yeah, a co-packing kitchen right here in Georgetown.
Okay.
It's called Rainier Foodworks.
Cool.
And I make it there. I go in and in a week make about 4,000 or 5,000 bottles. Wow. I cook it all in small batches by hand, and they bottle it as I go. And
It
now
takes-
it's out in a lot of stores.
You're doing this alone?
On the mic, on the
Yeah.
mic.
I'm a one-man band.
Well, and the idea of everybody's had some good taste in meal, and their friends say, oh, you should bottle this, but actually to follow through and to make it successful. I mean, you've got it distributed all over the Northwest in all the fine meat shops, as I've been saying on the script. Go
Right,
ahead.
it's in all the great butcher shops and meat stores around the Puget Sound, and it's in QFC, Metropolitan, Hagen Markets, and a lot of independent stores carry it as well.
And every time I serve it, people love it, and my mouth is watering right now.
I've been doing food tastings in the QFCs since April, and people just love it when they try it.
Okay, so if people are going to make it this afternoon to the Seattle Drum School, they're going to be able to taste your best buffalo sauce.
Yes,
We got
Mitch's
the
best buffalo sauce.
We got Mitch's best right here.
Had to put best right in the name of it.
There you go. And we got shrimp and chicken and some hummus. So so do come by 1010 South Bailey and join the jam, and then also get some of the
Then you too will
tasties.
know how the best buffalo sauce made anywhere tastes.
So now where's the
That's
next
right.
place that people can find you doing the tastings? Are you going to be at a QFC nearby?
I'm going to be at the QFC in Inner Bay on Dravis Street on next Sunday from 1 to 4.
Over by Queen Anne. Okay.
That's the 28th.
Yeah, right on. Okay, so we'll keep an eye on Mitch Pumpian and his best buffalo sauce. That's part one.
There you
Is that
go.
good? Part one. And I want to know more about your family and your harmonica choices, because you do have particulars. Let's do the jingle together, shall we?
Oh, the jingle for my sauce?
I think it's time.
Gonna have to
Do the jingle.
we're going to do it a
Apparently,
little
I'm gonna have
differently
to-
tonight. We're going
I'm going to play it off my phone because
We're gonna get
apparently
it.
the file got
We're
lost
going
in the
old
sound.
school with it, guys.
It's just
So
one of
here you
those
go.
Mercury and
Old school,
retrograde.
Dave.
Yeah, old school.
Mitch's best buffalo sauce. Mitch's best buffalo
It
sauce.
is. It's a hook.
Well, the sauce boss says you've tried the rest.
But you'll be back.
'Cause this one's best. Mitch's best buffalo sauce.
Nice. There's the QR code right there. And with just the right heat and just the right bite, this rich and creamy sauce made with all real butter tastes great on everything except dessert. Handmade in small batches, it's made like a gourmet French sauce. Tastes great on any chicken dish, including wings. It's also great on any seafood, roasted vegetables, and many other foods. Available locally at QFC, Metropolitan Markets, Hagen Markets, and most fine meat shops in the Puget Sound area. Order directly from Chef Mitch, the sauce boss, at mitchesfoods.com. And I sure appreciate your sponsorship. I can't say that enough. Just makes me jump and squeak when someone believes in what I'm doing as much as I do. So
Well, it's great. Both of my worlds can come together.
Exactly.
The music and the cooking.
me too.
Same.
I love feeding people. It's
nice.
Right, Bunny?
That's right.
Okay, so tell me about your family. Was it a musical family growing up?
Actually, no. Though my parents, sometimes they'd have friends over, and they'd always be playing jazz.
Okay.
And I didn't know much about music then. I was a little kid. I heard Top 40 on AM radio. That's something we had back in those days. And we didn't have FM yet. And so I kind of got that in my ear, but I didn't pursue it. And then when I was in fourth grade, I started playing the trumpet. And I played it for 3 years, got into the fourth year in junior high, and they had too many trumpet players. So they said, you're going to play French horn. Turns out I didn't really enjoy French horn at all. It was
Not the
quite
same.
different.
Not the same.
So I left the brass world. And when I was around 13, I was given a guitar, and I played around with that for a couple of months. And when I was 14, my mother gave me a harmonica for Hanukkah.
Oh, there we go.
And that's what started my harmonica career.
Nice.
But I knew nothing about blues or even harmonica music per se. I just started learning songs, like camp songs, Christmas songs, old Americana songs,
Well, now-
and learned to play by ear that way.
Somebody bought you a guitar. They knew you were musical.
I guess, yeah.
That was your family.
It wasn't
saying
encouraged, but it was the opportunity was made available.
You'd be a troublemaker if you didn't play music. That's what I always say.
Right. No, I was a troublemaker anyway.
You
but,
were? What kind of troublemaker were you?
I won't get into
Oh,
it.
come on. Tell me the
Oh,
truth.
tell us one. Tell us one. A little boy.
I used to chat with my neighbor desk in school, and so I frequently had to reside in the back of the room. because otherwise I'd chat.
You talk too much?
Yeah, it wasn't a terrible thing. These days
No.
they do something different. Back then they threw you in the back of the room and that was it.
Or another one, like sit next to the teacher's desk.
I never got to do that.
Oh, I did. Horrible.
They put me as far away as possible.
Well, I could see you being a good orator. I mean, they could encourage that verbal skill.
Right.
And set you up and say, well, okay, now read a poem.
If only they had.
Right? Read a poem or do something in front of people. That is the biggest fear people have.
Well, it's funny. When I started playing harmonica, and it was in college where I first started playing with other people. And I played harmonica, but I was very fearful of playing in front of people. I had a lot of stage fright. It took years to get over that.
I am so with you on that. I was terrified enough to be in radio and not get
And when
behind
I
the mic.
started singing, that was really hard for me.
Right. Tell me about that process.
I had, well, again, when I was playing guitar, I used to play and sing them myself, little songs. But when I was, I believe I was in college and I started playing music with people, I was only doing harmonica. It was when I started to sing, I really just was fearful of it.
What got you over that fear? Did you go to karaoke, or how'd you get over that hump?
I just
You
kept trying to
pushed
do
yourself.
it again and again.
Yeah.
And I got with a band up here. Oh, it was back in the late 90s. I moved up here in 92, and I did not play music with anybody. I was very busy with work and supporting a family of 5, and so I didn't play much music. And in the late 90s, I ran into some guys. They had kind of what I'll call an advanced garage band.
Okay.
The leader of it did rock and original rock, and I did the blues, and I started singing. And so that's where I started singing a lot more songs.
Get more confidence.
Right.
Yeah.
And where I really got a lot more confidence singing was when I got onto some other bands, like with Patty Allen and Monster Road.
I was going to say, that's where I saw you first.
Right.
Yeah.
And now I play with Sherry Roberts Grimes all the time, and I sing a bunch with her.
She's a great songwriter. She's
an
awesome.
incredible singer and songwriter. She's amazing.
And I know she's had some health issues. I really hope that we can get her booked here and maybe have you come back, because I know you play with her, and that'd be a great conversation.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
You also
Yeah.
said mentioned that you played with Lonnie Williams for years.
Yeah,
He's
it was
good
funny. One year I went to this New Year's Eve party. It was a New Year's Eve party for musicians without gigs.
Oh, cool. Right.
And
heard about
I forget the name of the guy that had the party. He was a very good bass player. In fact, he used to play for Chester Dennis Jones.
Oh, you're going to stump me on this.
And I forget his name, but he had this party. And so I went. He invited me. I went. At that party, I met Chester Dennis Jones.
Oh, yeah.
And we were playing, and Dennis invited me to sit in with one of his gigs at Engel's.
Cool.
After that.
I remember
and I
that.
went there, and he had this sax player there who was incredible. And so I got to get up and play, and it was Lonnie Williams.
Oh, right.
And that's when I first met him.
Right.
And after that gig, Lonnie invited me to come sit in on his gig.
There you go.
He used to do a gig at, I think it was called Cafe Amore.
Uh-huh, right.
He did for years
Under
before the place
monorail.
burned down.
Mhm,
Yeah.
Right.
And so I went there and a couple different times sat in with him, and it was great. I loved playing with him.
Yeah.
And then it was, it was a few years later, I got invited to play with the Kathy McDonald Band.
Boy, she was
And
an icon.
so I showed up for the gig, and my very best friend, Lisa Romalia, was the bass player.
Rest
And
in peace. Yes.
John Hanford, the guitar player, I had just met him a couple weeks earlier, and he had invited me to sit in.
How cool.
And so I go in, and the band's setting up, and here comes Lonnie in the door.
Right.
And I was like,
Oh,
I didn't
home
know he
week.
was in the band. I was so excited.
How
And it was
fun.
great. I ended up playing with him for 6 years straight. It quickly changed to the Patty Allen and Monster Road Band
Yeah.
because Kathy had health issues, and I only got to play with her for about 3 months before she had to stop playing. But John invited some different vocalists, and he got Patty to join the band.
Right on. I've reached out to John Hanford. He's going to be on my show. We just haven't scheduled it. He's so busy.
He is.
He plays more than anybody. He's just scrapping up those gigs. I tell
And he
you what.
plays with great players. He's amazing himself.
So where do we see you play these days?
These days, I play with Sherry Roberts Grimes
Okay,
at
and-
all her gigs.
Where's your next gig with her?
Our next gig is at the Remlinger Brewery.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's...
Remlinger Farms. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the trio. Yeah, Remlinger Farms in Carnation, they have a brewery now where they have live music.
Oh, cool. I'm going
And
to
so I
review
think
their
we're-
bathroom.
We're playing there this coming weekend, I believe.
Okay, here.
And then on May 11th, our 5-piece, which is totally kick-ass now. It's called Joe Mama.
Oh, nice.
It is...
Joe Mama.
Yeah. And you know what? I don't have the schedule in front of me. I'll look it up during the break.
But people can find that on Facebook.
Yeah, they look up SherryRobertsGrimes.com.
And that's GRIEMES.
I believe so. It's EI or IE.
I hope I get I know it's right. Ooh,
I think I'm trying to picture it in my mind.
I before E except after C.
It's German, so I think it's EI. Anyway, you'll find her.
So it's Saturday night, April 27th,
I believe so.
is your gig at
At the-
Remlinger.
Yeah. And that's going to be our trio. Mark Loggins, the guitar player all the time. He's fantastic.
Cool.
So he and I play with Sherry as a trio. And then we had Doug Kleiber and usually Mark Mossholder on bass. Doug on
Nice.
drums for the 5-piece.
Oh, and you get invited to sit in with people when you show up with your harps. I mean,
Yeah.
I've seen you sit
Yeah,
in.
I'm honored.
Right.
I do get to sit. In fact, Patty and I, my partner Patty and I went to hear the Silver Tongue Devils.
Yes,
About
with Tim Scott and
three,
the
4
Holmgren.
weeks ago.
Yeah.
And John Hanford's in that band.
Yep.
And they are incredible. And
It
during the
is.
break, Tim invited me up to play a tune.
Nice.
So I got to sit in with them. It was great.
You know, it is the funnest thing I've ever done. And I got to sit in with the band. Bonnie let me do a couple songs. I did a Memphis Mini. And it was just like, oh, I'd pay to be able to get that opportunity. It was
Right.
so much fun. So, oh, Mitch, thank you so much for being here today. You like to play what kind of harmonica? You're a Lee Oscar guy, but tell me about
Yeah,
your
well, for
preferences.
diatonic harmonicas, I definitely prefer the Lee Oscar harps. It's funny, I was living in Los Angeles. It was back in 1982. And every year, there's this big harmonica convention. It's called the SPAH Convention, S-P-A-H. I think it's for the Society for the Preservation and Advancement of Harmonica.
Nice.
So they happened to be having their big meeting in the LA area. So I thought, I'll go to this one because I can sleep at home, each night. So I went, and that's where I first met Lee Oscar. He was there, had a stand set up. He was just starting to sell his harmonicas. In fact, I believe he'll tell you the first year he sold his harmonicas was 1983. But so in 82, I kind of got the advance notice, right?
The demo.
But I
You
met
got the
Lee,
demo.
and we got on well. He was living in the LA area. And we kept in touch a little, and then we kind of lost touch.
Yes.
And I went on with my cooking career and blah, blah, blah. And after I moved up here to the Seattle area, I had left the restaurant business, and I was out doing a sales-type job. And I was out cold calling one day in Bellevue and came upon a business, Lee Oscar Enterprises. And I went in all excited. I'm like, is this the Lee Oscar with the harmonicas? And the lady's like, yeah. I said, oh, my God, how do I get in touch with him? What's this doing up here? Well, he moved up here.
Woodinville, yeah.
He originally moved to Duval.
Duval, yeah, there you go.
Then he was in Redmond, and now he lives up north of Seattle.
Beautiful areas, all of them. Yeah.
But so I reconnected with him.
Cool.
And I reconnected with him. He was doing a exhibition at a music store. And he invited me. He started doing a monthly gig at the Highway 99 right around that time.
Yeah.
To mention that.
So I got to go
Right.
see him every month, and our friendship continued. And eventually I became best friends with his sax player and bass player, Scotty Harris and Lisa
And Lisa
Ramalho.
Ramalho, right?
And Scotty eventually became a bass player, but he's an incredible bass player.
Oh, yeah, and sax player.
But those two are what kind of led me into the music scene here. I
Yeah.
started sitting in with them a lot, and
Right.
which led me to Monster Road and other bands.
I think that's when I saw you, too. When you were.
I also was I had a little over a year. I got to play with the Eric Rice band.
Oh,
That
he's
was
a lot
Eric
of fun.
Rice,
Dirty
Scotty-
Rice, yeah.
yeah. Scotty Harris,
Anything else with Dirty
Andrew
Rice.
Cloutier.
Thought you'd like that, Bunny.
That was a great band to play with too. Really fine musicians.
I saw a hot dog stand on Capitol Hill this weekend. It was called Dirty Dog. And I thought, I want to eat that. I don't want to eat that. All right, let me get that calendar in. Anything else you want to add, feel free, because this is an open situation. I like, Anthony Estrada, he hosts that open mic over there. He calls it a very open mic, which I thought was really cool. It's like, anybody show up and play. Sit in with a real band. It's the best thing, coolest thing I've ever done. They do that at the Royal Esquire every Sunday night, 8 p.m. with rotating hosts. They have a jam. Let me see. Andy Coe hosts at the Blue Moon on Mondays. Every Sunday at the Spar Beer Parlor, there's a blues band at 7 o'clock, one or the other out there in Tacoma. The Nectar Lounge has Mo Jam Mondays with rotating guests there at the Nectar Lounge in Fremont. The Sea Monster is where they go after that in Wallingford. They just kind of go up the road and do a later jam. Right, Christian? You attended that. You've been there. Every Monday, Ron Weinstein on organ and Danny Godinez, who teaches here at the Seattle Drum School, I believe, or at least I've seen him in the halls. The Owl and Thistle at Post Alley. They are there every Monday at 9. On Tuesdays, I mentioned John Pinetree with his band Yellin' Degenerates. Coolest band name I think I've heard in a while. John Pinetree does a blues showcase at Capitol Cider. I don't know what they call it now, but it's on Capitol Hill, 6:30 every Tuesday. Now, that might be old information. I have yet to go there and verify. But, oh, what? Easter. What did he say? Easter?
Easter. That's the new name of Capitol Cider.
Oh, it's called Easter. Oh, he's way ahead of me on that. Okay, thank you. Going to change that. Easter on Capitol Hill. Every Tuesday as well at the Owl and Thistle, it is Eric Verlinde, a great jazz jam, starting at 10 o'clock. That's a nice late one at the Owl and Thistle Post Alley every Tuesday night. If you stay up late, the Roomba Room has an earlier jam on Tuesdays, 7 to 10, and that's a jazz jam with either Sheila Kay or Tess Thomas, both great vocalists. And of course, the Wolves, Beth and Jim. Part of the thing. Joe Doria presents music at the Sea Monster Lounge. Now, he's a great B3 player. I got to do a poem thing with him. I got an idea. And he said, yeah, I'll do it. So 9:30 on Tuesdays, you might find me there at Sea Monster Lounge. Joe Doria presents. Every Wednesdays, Arlena's in Kirkland has Lizzie Sunshine singing her heart out, 6 to 9 p.m. and great food. Every Wednesday at Dawson's in Tacoma, there's a blues jam. Every Wednesday at Golden West in Tacoma, which I was at last Wednesday. Had a great time. Jerry Miller, 7 to 11. He can play, and he lets people sit in. I saw Bobby Hoffman do a great vocals. And, of course, my buddy Bonnie McCoy sat in and nailed it. I still got Tin Pan Alley in my head. It is an earworm because she just nailed it. Right. The Dusty 45s are at the Owl and Thistle every Wednesday now. That's pretty cool. Every Wednesday at Madison's in Everett, there's a blues jam. Every Thursday at the Bent Bine Brewing Company in Belfair, I mentioned the very open mic with Anthony Estrada and Double H on harmonica as well. Every Thursday at the Flight Path, they have a great sit-in with a real band situation. And the real band is awesome. And that's at 8 o'clock. Every Thursday as well, Madison Pub in Everett has a songwriter showcase with Stacy Jones, who is a female band leader and also harmonica player. Forgot about that until the other day. Every Thursday, Salmon Bay Eagles has blues, one band or another, always good stuff. And I think that's where I'm going to see John Pinetree and his band Yellin' Degenerates. That's the best band name. Anyway, Tim's Tavern every Thursday in White Center has the Dusty 45s. Again, they're getting around every week at 6 p.m. there, and I love that band. Every third Saturday at Cheng's Thai in North Bend, look for Lonnie Williams. We just were talking about Lonnie. So we got a couple of highlights for this month to mention. Let's see, today is after those dates, so I'm going to blow right past all.
Well, you know, we're getting to the good part of the weather here. So, yes, you know, I missed the outside concerts and, Ruston Market.
Festival time coming.
I missed my garden.
Yes.
Well, the All-Star Women Jam will be at the Drum School here at the lab this afternoon, starting shortly. So we're going to wrap up. I want to mention the California Honey Drops are playing the Knitting Factory in Spokane today, 8 p.m. If you know anybody in Spokane, call them up. Also, the Best of the Blues Awards at the Nile Shrine Center this afternoon. They start at 3, and that's a big deal. Everybody wants an award. At Salmon Bay Eagles, it's Sam and Dan tonight doing a jam at 8, and Kimball and the Fugitives with Annie Eastwood at the Spar in Tacoma tonight. Oh, I got the date. I got who's playing there tonight, 7 p.m. there. And the South Sound Blues Association Showcase will be at Purdy's Pub in Sumner on the 23rd of this month. Also, Wild Buffalo in Bellingham has the California Honey Drops on the 23rd, 8 p.m. And 2 nights at Jazz Alley, Davina and the Vagabonds. I love her. She's a great pianist and performer. Shoot for the Moon is her new record. Again, Jazz Alley 2324. Look for Blues at the Tractor in Ballard. We just did their bathroom review a couple weeks ago. Carrie Marin and Ghost Dog. Going to play some blues on the 24th at the Tractor. The 25th, I got a little more. Annie Eastwood and Friends at Bad Albert's in Ballard, still doing the blues, 6 p.m. The California Honey Drops doing another date at the Showbox here in Seattle at the Market, 8 p.m. on the 25th. Is that Earth Day? I think that's Earth Day. Tower Power coming through town. Oh, 25, 26, 27,
yes.
28. You can't go wrong. Just got to have a little
One of
do,
my
re, mi to
favorite
pay for it. But
oldies,
yes,
yes.
Allie, 25, 26, 27, 28. And Norris and Nicely, I had them on my show way back in the day. I'm going to have to have them back. Anderson School, they'll be in Bothell on the 26th, the 7 p.m. show. And there it is, Salmon Bay Eagles, John Pinetree and the Yellin' Degenerates, Ballard, 8 p.m. on the 26th. And the Stacey Jones Band will play the Apple Blossom Festival in Wenatchee on the 27th. It's starting to be festival season. Yes. And Dana Lupinacci will be at the Salmon Bay Eagles on the 27th. Annie Eastwood and Chris Stevens at the Rep in Snohomish on the 27th. Mark Dufresne going to play Third Place Commons, the Third Place Books Commons there at Lake Forest Park on the 27th. He's so great, the Mark Dufresne Band. I got to get him on my show, too. There's a bunch of people I still need to get on this show.
And that's a great room to hear music.
It is a good room for music.
I love playing there.
Bad Dog Blues Society. Yes, my buddy Andy up there in Bellingham plays Madison Avenue Pub in Everett on the 27th. And then 28th, I might as well mention this, Annie Eastwood and the Kimball Fugitives at the Sea Monster Lounge. They're going to do a 4 p.m. show on the 28th. If you like those early shows, get out and support them. I think it's a cool thing to do.
It's next Sunday.
I'll get more on that calendar. And it will show up on my new website, bluestodo.org. So, yeah, that'll have to do. Oh, the Rolling Stones are going to play here on my birthday at Lumen
really?
Field. Anybody want to buy me a birthday present?
Right.
That's a bit pricey. Don't worry. I'm good. I've seen 'em.
Well,
I've
we
seen
get to
'em.
the concierge. You're Marlee Walker.
Oh, don't make me cuss. 'Cause my buddy, our buddy Bird used to call me Marlee effing Walker, and it was so cute.
Well, I tried to keep it clean.
I loved it. Okay, so that is our show. A delightful show with you, Mitch. Thank you so much for being
can't
here.
wait
Thanks for
to
having
try
me. I
the
appreciate
buffalo
it.
sauce.
We're going to try the buffalo sauce very
yes.
shortly. Mitch's Best Buffalo Sauce. He is our sponsor, and he's going to stick around this afternoon for our All-Star Women Jam and give us a taste of that sauce with shrimp and chicken and hummus. So if you have any suggestions for guests or bathrooms that I should review, you just go ahead and reach out to me, blues2do tv1@gmail.com. And we're booking summer workshops here at the Seattle Drum School right now. So if your kids or you know kids who want to do a blues or a workshop this summer, it's a good time to sign up for that. I think that's it for now. Meanwhile, you can watch archives of all of our shows for Blues to Do live streaming podcasts on YouTube since this September 23. So we've got a few months of shows. And Patty Allen was my first guest, so yeah, great show. We had so much fun. I got to scroll down. It must be that Mercury in retrograde messing with me. So yeah, from the lab at Seattle Drum School, this has been the Blues to Do live streaming podcast with myself, Marlee Walker. Thank you, Christian Sadler and KZ, for helping out, producing, making this happen for me. And it is real music, real people, real stories, living the blues until next week. Bye for now. Thanks again, Mitch. That was
Thanks
awesome.
for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, Bunny Brown coming back on the show. All right.